Hi guys, my name is Nicole Pepperell from Pepperell Chiropractic. We have set a little goal for ourselves to try and do some more of these little videos just on some educational things within the office and just, so we can share some things that we do every day at Pepperell Chiropractic, share some of the products we sell, and do more education on chiropractic and why it's so important. So today, our very first video, we're going to start with talking about allergies because right now everybody has them, right? 'Tis the season. And we're going to talk specifically about seasonal allergies. And we're going mainly because a lot of people who suffer from seasonal allergies, sometimes it isn't, your side effects aren't horrible, and then sometimes we're just miserable. You get the itchy, watery eyes and the runny nose and the scratchy throat, and your head feels like a balloon. And so we're gonna learn a few things today. We're gonna talk about why we have allergies, and specifically we're going to talk about histamines and how histamines how our body works and create and releases these histamines, and I'll go into greater detail. I have notes too, so, and we're also going to I want to pick out I've picked out two really important over-the-counter antihistamines. We're going to talk a little bit about antihistamines real quick, and I picked two over-the-counter antihistamines that we're going to talk about the ingredients in these. And I don't know how many of you read labels, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. I really like reading labels. So I've done some of the work for you today. I've read the labels, I've researched the ingredients. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the ingredients in two really popular over-the-counter antihistamines, Allegra and Claritin. And then we're going to talk about these products that we have in our office. We have D-Hist for adults, and we have D-Hist Junior for kids. So, and I'm going to talk about the ingredients in these and kind of break down what the ingredients do. And we're going to compare the three and see what adds up and what doesn't. So let's get started by talking about histamines. So when you have allergies, seasonal allergies, we're all allergic to different things. So if we're just talking specifically about seasonal allergies, it could be pollen, it could be grass, it could be the trees, it could be flowers, it could be dust. And right now it's spring, so all these things are in bloom. And so a lot of times, on the Weather Channel, you'll see that the pollen's really high or the dust levels are really high. So it's just basically all these things are coming out of dormancy and they're in bloom. And even though it's beautiful and it's fantastic and we want to be outside in it, it can wreak havoc on our, for some of us, on our bodies. So let's just speak specifically about pollen, because that is a major one that many people are allergic to. I read a statistic, and it was like 36 million Americans, just Americans, 36 million Americans actually suffer from seasonal allergies. So when you think about how many people are probably buying over-the-counter medications for this, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, it's just crazy to think about. But so let's just say I'm outside working in the yard and I've come in contact with pollen and I'm allergic to it. My body senses that I've come in contact with this allergen, this pollen, and my body's natural response, what it's made to do, is my brain tells my cells to release histamines. So histamines are actually produced in specific cells called mast cells. And these cells release the histamine. And let's think of histamine as bouncers at a nightclub, okay? So they're there just to protect your body and to escort away all of the allergens that aren't supposed to be there and that could make us sick or make us feel icky. And so what it does is the histamines actually travel through our bloodstream, and the histamines actually create the allergic responses you feel. So those allergic responses that make you feel icky. So the itchy, watery eyes, the stuffy nose, the drainage, the excess mucus, you may get a cough. Those are all created by the histamines. And yes, they are an inconvenience, and they're uncomfortable, and they make you feel icky, and you don't want to get out of bed if they're bad enough. But they are there for a reason. So they're there to excrete the pollen. So the pollen, you get it, you breathe it in, it may end up in your mouth. Your body recognizes it, releases the histamines, and the histamines want to escort that pollen out of your body. And to do that, histamines are infamous for inflammation. So that feeling you get of your head just feeling, this big, and your eyes being all poofy, and your sinuses feeling poofy, that is your body's response due to these histamines it has released to create more mucus, or whatever you want to call it, snot, goop in your eye, whatever you want to call it, to get the pollen out of your body. Our natural response is, we don't like it, it's uncomfortable, and we want to make ourselves feel better. So we take an over-the-counter drug. And how an antihistamine. So an antihistamine, how it works is it blocks your body from producing histamines, which then in return makes those allergy responses better. You don't feel as bad because you don't have the histamine running rampant through your body. But when you do that, you're making it harder for your body to get rid of the allergen, the pollen, the grass, whatever you've come in contact with that you're allergic to. It makes it harder for your body to get rid of it. So your recovery time is going to be longer, if at all. Because if your body can't do what is naturally made to do, and you're telling it, no, don't do that, and you're blocking it from being able to do it, you're not going to be able to get rid of those allergens as fast. And your symptoms may last longer, and there may be all kinds of complications, and we know that allergies can lead into other things. So even though it is natural for us, and a lot of times recommended for us, to take these over-the-counter drugs, and we even have patients that come into the office who are on these drugs the entire season, and basically they're being told to start taking them March 1st and end July 1st. Like, just take them every day whether you need them or not, then you'll feel fine. But you're not giving your body the ability to get rid of these allergens. And so you're really confusing your innate responses. Your body's just trying to do its job, and it's not going to understand why you keep telling it not to do its job. So that's histamines, and that's how allergies work, and the importance of histamines, and we all have them, and they're important, and we need them. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the 3 products that I mentioned. So we're going to talk about, and I'm gonna have to use my notes because some of these ingredients I'm gonna butcher them. So Claritin, Allegra, and then Dehist Junior and Dehist. So, and I'll try and do this really quickly because I see I'm almost at 10 minutes. Sorry. Okay. So when you have a box of an antihistamine, or any drug for that matter, if you look on the back, they'll have the little ingredients panel. And at the top, this one does not do this, but at the top of, and you'll see why in a little bit, but at the top of the ingredients panel, or at the top of the panel, it'll say active ingredients, and then at the bottom it'll list the inactive ingredients. So what's the difference? So active ingredients are all the ingredients put into the capsule that have to do with the issue you're taking the pill for. So if I'm taking Tylenol to get rid of my headache, it'll list all the active ingredients at the top that's going to help me get rid of my headache. Okay? The inactive ingredients listed at the bottom of the panel are all the ingredients that are put into that capsule that do not need to be there for you and for you to get rid of your headache, to help alleviate the headache. It is specifically for the manufacturing process and for the capsule. So let's start with Claritin. Claritin actually had 4 ingredients, which doesn't sound bad, but it's not good. So the 4 ingredients are loratadine, cornstarch, lactose monohydrate, and magnesium stearate. So on the top of the panel, the active ingredient for Claritin was loratadine. Here's the problem with that. So when I researched it, I could not find what makes up loratadine. Obviously, loratadine is not some random, very popular chemical. I mean, it's made up of other things to make it loratadine. And the only thing I could find was that loratadine is Claritin and Claritin is loratadine. So loratadine is its scientific name. Claritin is its general population name. It's what we would call it. Scientists, doctors may call it loratadine. When I talked to Dr. Kurt about this, he basically explained it as it's like a trade secret. They're not going to tell you, and obviously the FDA doesn't make them they don't make them label the bottle. There's probably some loophole somewhere where it says that they don't have to label that bottle. They don't have to tell you what ingredients make up loratadine because it's a trade secret. It's like giving away grandma's world-winning secret cookie recipe. You know, like a bakery's not going to do that because that's their bread and butter. So we don't really know what's in loratadine. So when you take Claritin, you don't really know what you're taking because you don't know what makes up loratadine. So active ingredient at the top of the label was loratadine, but I can't tell you any more than that. The bottom of the label, the 3 inactive ingredients, was cornstarch, which is a corn byproduct. The second one was lactose monohydrate, which is a sugar found in milk. And the third one was magnesium stearate, and this was the other big problem I had with this one. So magnesium stearate is a compound that has lubricative properties, has no health benefits, but is found in many supplements and vitamins. So magnesium stearate is a soap, and its sole purpose is to keep then when you swallow it, it glides down your throat better. But 2, it actually keeps it from sticking to each other in the bottle. You know, soap, you think of it slippery. So it keeps the pills from sticking together. And during the manufacturing process, it actually keeps the pills from sticking to the machinery. The problem with magnesium stearate, I mean, other than the fact that it's soap that you're eating, it is often made with cottonseed oil, and cottonseed oil actually has one of the highest pesticide residue content. So in the cotton fields, when the cotton is growing, before they've pressed it and made it into an oil, cotton is actually really heavily sprayed with pesticides just to keep the bugs away. So it's the highest content of pesticide residue. So, okay, so that's Claritin. So Allegra has a much longer inactive ingredient list, but same thing with its active. So the top part of the panel, its active ingredients was fexofenadine, which there again, it's the same thing as the Claritin. They're not going to release what's in fexofenadine because it's like a trade secret. It's their recipe. So you don't really know what's in Allegra when you take it then. So inactive bottom panel. So these are all the ingredients that are put in there for the benefit of the pill, not for the benefit of the person taking the pill. Okay, so there's a bunch of them. and I'm going to totally butcher these. I'm sorry. So the first one is pre-gelatinized starch, which is a corn byproduct. The second one is polyethylene glycol. There are several forms of polyethylene glycol. It just depends on how it's manufactured. It can be found in a range of items, including paint, rocket fuel, and laxatives. But the Allegra box did not say which form it was. So when you take Allegra, you don't really know if you're getting like the rocket fuel kind or the paint kind. You just don't know. Okay. Third ingredient was providone, which is a binder. So it's going to make the ingredients of the pill stick together. But then they add a colloidal silicon dioxide, which is an anti-caking agent. So they use one ingredient to bind it, but then they use another ingredient to not bind it so much. The next ingredient is cross-scar-melosodium. Totally butchered it. So this one aids in the absorption of the pill. So it's just going to help when it's sitting in your stomach, you absorb it better. And it is an alternative to gelatin. The next ingredient is hypromellose, which is a thickening agent that is also found in eye drops. A lot of people use eye drops, so you may want to check into that. Iron oxide blends is actually what gives the pill its color. So if you see an Allegra pill, they're about this big, and they're like a pinkish, tannish hue. The iron oxide blends is what gives it its color. Magnesium stearate, which we talked about, which is in Claritin, is soap. And microcrystalline cellulose is wood pulp. And I'm not really sure why that's in there. Don't know. And the last ingredient is titanium dioxide. Titanium dioxide is wood pulp and a lot of other ones are questionable, but titanium dioxide is really questionable because titanium dioxide is used to preserve the color of the pill. But titanium dioxide is classified as a group 2B drug, which means that it is possibly carcinogenic. It hasn't been proven, but it hasn't been disproven, and there's actually been studies that have shown that it is a carcinogen. And if something is labeled a carcinogen, that means it can or will cause cancer. So this one is labeled as a group 2B, which means possibly carcinogenic. I did read an article when I was researching that there was a study done on some lab rats where it did produce cancer in the lab rats. And another thing to think of is titanium dioxide is found in a lot of sunscreens. So maybe something you want to check into. So those are the difference between the Claritin and the Allegra. Okay, so really, really quickly, because I need to wrap this up. Dehist is for adults. Dehist Junior is for children. It's chewable. I'm not sure if the adults is chewable, but I know the kids is chewable. Our kids have used this. Both of them contain the same ingredients, same 5 ingredients. It's just the Dehist Junior is at levels appropriate for children. Okay, so first I want to tell you what is not in these 2 products. It does not contain wheat. They do not contain wheat. Gluten, soy, animal or dairy byproducts, fish, shellfish, peanuts, tree nuts, eggs, artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives. What they do contain are 5 ingredients. The first one is called quercetin. So quercetin is an antioxidant found in plants. That means it's naturally derived from plants that grow outside in the wild, not in a factory. that has the ability to release histamines, which is the compound known to cause seasonal allergies. So quercetin is going to work with your body's natural defenses to release the histamine, because like I said, we don't want to block the histamine from being released. We want it to release the histamine. So the quercetin is in there to help release the histamines from those mast cells to be sent out throughout your body. The second ingredient is stinging nettles leaf. It is also a plant that balances the immune response, specifically the airways and nasal passages. So what stinging nettles leaf is going to do, now that you've released the histamines and you're starting to get all poofy and swollen and you've got drainage and itchy, watery eyes, the stinging nettles leaf is naturally going to soothe those responses to the histamine, specifically the airways and nasal passageways. So it's going to help cut down on the snot and the mucus and the puffiness of your airways, and the back of your throat. Third ingredient is bromelain. Bromelain is a plant enzyme found on the stem and fruit of the pineapple plant. And it enhances the absorption of quercetin. So remember, quercetin was that first ingredient. It just helps your body absorb the quercetin better. And it's natural. It's found on pineapple. I mean, who doesn't love pineapple? And I don't know if any of you have ever heard that pure pineapple juice, so like a squeezed pineapple or a fresh pineapple, not pineapple juice you find in the can that is full of sugar, just fresh pineapple. It works like cough syrup. It's actually really good for you when you have a sore, scratchy throat, or you may have a cough, because it works like cough syrup. The fourth ingredient is N-acetylcysteine. We're going to call it NAC because I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that name too. N-acetylcysteine is an amino acid precursor to glutathione. Both glutathione and NAC help reduce the production of mucus, improving the respiratory health. So once again, it's just going to help soothe those allergy symptoms, which are the responses to histamine being released in your body. I mentioned glutathione, and glutathione is extremely important, and that's probably a talk for another day. But glutathione is actually produced within your body. It's a natural, also like histamines, it's natural for you to have glutathione in your body, and glutathione is extremely important in the detoxification process of your body. So the NAC, or the N-acetylcysteine, is going to work with the glutathione in your body to detoxify, to get rid of anything your body thinks is toxic, i.e. the pollen or the grass or whatever that your body thinks it's allergic to. And the fifth and final ingredient is vitamin C. And, we all know vitamin C is important for health. So vitamin C cannot be synthesized by humans, and so it must be consumed in our diets or within whole food vitamin C capsules. Vitamin C supports the immune system and is also an antioxidant. Vitamin C is just in there just to help you. It's just going to boost your immune system, and also, like it says, works as an antioxidant. So once again, Dehist Junior, Dehist for adults, chewable. We have these in the office. We have a small supply. If you're interested, you can always come in and talk to Dr. Kurt. You can call us. Our phone number is 839-8358, 309-839-8358. But if we do run out, we get them within 2 days. It's 2-day shipping. So we can always order if you are willing or wanting to try. We just think that we love orthomolecular products, first of all. We've been selling them for a little while now. We sell quite a few orthomolecular products in the office. We've had, I think, 3-4 classes now on just different topics, and where our orthomolecular products and chiropractic care can support those topics. You can always check our Facebook page if you want more information on those classes, because we have some, we will have some more in the future. But yeah, way better. I mean, in our opinion, only 5 ingredients, all natural, no wood pulp. Thanks, guys.